Hey, Husky fans, Joe Simmons here from NIU Athletics again to bring you another exciting Husky football victory, the 2003 win over Alabama. You'll hear insights from the guys that played the game, quarterback Josh Haldi, linebackers Brian Atkinson and Nick Duffy, defensive end Travis Moore, and tailback Michael Turner. First up, Josh Haldi. Hey, Josh, thanks for joining us. Great to have you on.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Really appreciate it.
Obviously, the first question I have to ask is, what was the atmosphere like to play in that game?
It was great. Playing in front of that many people in that environment. I think at least for me and a lot of my teammates and just anybody that's played football since they were young, that's all you can ask for is a setting like that. Playing with a group of guys that we had going into that environment. It was a lot of fun.
Heard a little bit about Coach Novak's trip. I don't say rituals, but heard he always made sure you guys made it to the stadium that you guys were playing at on road games the night before, so you guys can do a walkthrough. Can you talk a little about what that walkthrough at Bryant-Denny was like the night before the game?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think part of it was to just get yourself out of the bus, or in this situation, we flew down there, and just get on your feet a little bit and get familiar with the stadium. Obviously, doing a walkthrough in Bryant-Denny versus some of the MAC stadium was a little bit different. And I think, you're first walking in there and you see all the national championship flags. It was exciting. It was, I think we were prepared appropriately, and we're just excited to play. And it didn't strike me as that unusual from any of our other walkthroughs outside of just the environment itself, obviously, and the magnitude of it. But I think to a man, we were just kind of all excited to be down there and ready to play. And it was a great environment to play in, that's for sure.
Hey, Travis, thanks for joining us today. Talk about the NIU-Alabama game from 2003. Really quick, first question. Can I ask you, what was that walkthrough at Bryant-Denny Stadium like the night before?
You know what it was like, the calm before the storm. It was just one of those walkthroughs where Coach wanted us to kind of get mental reps, kind of get an idea of where you would be on position relative to the field, and just kind of that thought before the game, the night before. It was pretty cool. It was surreal, just the environment and being in a stadium of that magnitude.
We're going to bring the game to everybody right now. Here it is, kickoff, NIU versus Alabama at Bryant-Denny.
Northern Illinois comes to Tuscaloosa with Heisman hopeful Michael Turner. Turner the burner has helped the Huskies to one upset this season, and tonight Joe Novak's team wants to add number 21 Alabama to their hit list. The Crimson Tide plays its fourth straight home game to start the season, and Alabama knows it better be sharp tonight at Bryant-Denny. It's the Tide and the Huskies next.
Beautiful night for football here at the Capstone. Number 21 Alabama playing host to undefeated Northern Illinois. Hello everyone, welcome to Tuscaloosa and Bryant-Denny Stadium. David Crane joined by former Bama quarterback Tyler Watts. Glad to have you with us here on Crimson. The Tide playing its fourth straight home game to start the season. This team, especially this offense, has come a long way in a short amount of time, and I would have to think all those home games have certainly helped.
It definitely does play a part of it. Having the crowd here at home be a part of the game, it really is a huge influence on this football team and helping them out in the early stages of the season.
Northern Illinois brings a very dangerous team to Tuscaloosa tonight. Offensively, they've got a pretty potent weapon, a Heisman Trophy candidate, Michael Turner. He's pretty legitimate.
He is good. They call him the burner, although at times He's more like a fire plug. He's a short, stocky guy, about 230 pounds. He has the capabilities of just lowering his head and running over you, although he does have deceptive speed like we see right here.
Dangerous return man as well. There you see his numbers on the season, about 4 yards a carry, a couple of touchdowns, and he certainly has helped them throughout the season, especially an upset earlier in the year. His counterpart in the Alabama backfield, Sean Williams. All he did was become SEC Player of the Week for the second time this year after a great showing last week against Kentucky.
Not an easy thing to do, to be SEC Offensive Player of the Week 2 times, especially this early in the season. Sean Williams is a huge part of this offense and a part of this team.
Heart and soul, many would say, of this Alabama offense. Almost 5 yards a carry for Sean so far this season. Northern Illinois, they want an upset tonight. Try and build a little more credibility, not only for their program, but for the Mid-America Conference. More on that, the third man in our crew, Chris Stewart, down on the sidelines.
Thanks a lot, guys. It is a big day for the Mid-American Conference. They've already taken on BCS members such as Penn State, Ohio State. Marshall was a winner over number 6 Kansas State. And in fact, as you alluded to earlier, this Northern Illinois team has already beaten one ranked team this season when they knocked off nationally ranked Maryland. Alabama tonight trying to avoid being victim number 2 of the Huskies.
Thanks a lot, Chris. It should be a good one. The Crimson Tide about a 2-touchdown favorite, but nobody thinks it's going to be that easy for the Tide here tonight. It's Alabama and Northern Illinois coming up next.
Hey, Josh, you talk a bit about what the game plan was heading into that contest?
Yeah, no, listen, I think, offensively, it certainly was, like it always is for me and us as an offense, was limiting our mistakes. I think, the key to the game from my perspective, and I think our perspective just generally was, trying to stay ahead of the chains and stay out of second and third and long where we could. I think as you watch the game plan and the type of passing situations that we put ourselves in, we certainly also acknowledged and appreciated the firepower that they had on their defensive front. And we tried to move the pocket a little bit. We didn't do a ton of just straight back 5-step drops, sit in the pocket and multiple reads and coverages for that reason. There was a lot of shotgun, getting out of the pocket, bootlegging where we could, and just trying to keep them off balance as much as we could, because there's no question, they had some horses up front that it was important to kind of change what their eyes were looking at, and not let them get in a rhythm of what we were doing, which was really, really important going into the game.
Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Nearly a sellout crowd on hand here tonight for the Tide and the Huskies. Coach Joe Novak, the 2002 MAC Coach of the Year. It has been a slow but steady building process for the Huskies under Coach Novak. 2-0 on the year. Again, an upset of Maryland, the top 20 team at the time, to start the season. On the other sideline, Mike Shula, the Alabama alum, coming back home. And Tyler Watts, I would have to say, as a somewhat biased observer, in regards to Coach Shula, so far so good. He's been very, very impressive.
No question about it. The players have been very impressed with his demeanor on the sideline. He's cool regardless of the situation out on the field, and it reflects upon his players.
Tide won the toss, deferred to the second half. So Northern Illinois will get the football. The first meeting between these two teams is Kyle Robinson set to kick it away for Alabama. Lionel Hickenbottom and Randy Drew, the twin deep men. Hickenbottom drifting back 5 yards deep. Thought about bringing it out, but will eventually take a knee. A solid start for Alabama in the special teams. The Alabama special teams have been pretty solid all season long. They'll be tested again tonight. The Huskies offense, Free, Rogers, Galani, Ebenhock, and Verstrady across the front. The very dangerous Michael Turner at running back. The fullback tight end hybrid is the Q position with Keith Perry, P.J. Fleck, Dan Sheldon, the wideouts, and Cieslak, the tight end. Josh Haldi, junior out of Madison, Ohio, getting the start under center. There you see his numbers. Not surprisingly, Turner gets the call on the first snap, and they'll have a yard
and no more before he's driven back by just about the entire Alabama front. Here is that front line. Losher, Bryant, Jeremy Clark a little banged up last week. And Antoine Odom, the backers, Ryans, Freddie Roach, and Derek Pope, they've been awfully solid this year. Charlie Pepper, Anthony Madison, the corners, Roman Harper, and Charlie Jones, the safeties. There you see Naughton McKay Losher, the senior out of Toronto, one of the game captains for tonight. Second down and a long 9 for NIU. Turner again, the handoff, weaving his way through the Alabama defense. A nice pickup on second and long. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down as Anthony Madison there to get him to the ground. Turner, 5'10", 232, the senior out of North Chicago. Tyler, you and I were talking before the game. He and Shad Williams, similar height-wise, but Turner about 40 pounds heavier.
He is a good bit heavier, and he's a strong back. He's going to lower his head, and he's going to try and run over people.
The Huskies are going to try to run it tonight against Alabama, and teams have not fared that well trying to run the ball so far this season. Third and a short 2, and early on, Josh Haldi will take a timeout. So the quarterback for the Huskies didn't like something he saw. Play clock may have been winding down on him, and he'll spend an early timeout about 90 seconds into the ball game. The Tide defensively this year against the run, Tyler, allowing right at 50 yards a game.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, for any Division I school to be able to hold good opponents like Alabama has played this year to 50 yards or less, that's just an incredible job.
Just some of the numbers put up by Joe Kynes' group. With all of the transition, turmoil, whatever description you want to use, there is Joe Kynes, Bama's defensive coordinator. That's the one advantage, I suppose, or the defense did have the advantage over the offense in the latest coaching change. Joe Kynes and his defense didn't change from the spring, so they were able to have a little bit more time to build and prepare for this year.
Right, I'm sure not a whole lot changed from under Coach Price to Coach Shula coming in. And also keep in mind, really all the defense lost was the front three, and Kendall Moorhead, Jared Johnson, and Kenny King. The rest of the guys have a lot of experience, and they're doing an outstanding job.
Third and a long 1 for the Huskies. Turner, right up the gut, will have the first down. As he crosses the 31-yard line, Antoine Odom, the junior out of Bayou La Batterie, makes the tackle for the Tide. But a first down for NIU, 3 straight running plays for the Huskies. They like to run the ball, I like to try, but again, you look at their team numbers, just 109 yards rushing per game. Teams have been trying to stack the line against NIU. Haldi to throw for the first time, finds his man across the way, complete to Keith Perry, forced out of bounds right at the 40-yard line by Derek Pope. And a good gain on first down. This is more of a ball control offense, Tyler. They're going to look to establish the run. And probably nothing real fancy in the passing game with Haldi. They pick up 9 on first down. Back to Turner. Tiptoeing as he gets to the line of scrimmage, and he's driven back. Derek Pope and others to greet him right at the line. Sets up another 3rd and short. The Bama defense has been pretty good. 29% allowing 3rd down conversion so far. Haldi wants to throw, wants to go deep, but he overthrows everybody. Looking again for Perry. Roman Harper with the coverage, but that ball overthrown by about 10 yards.
That's an interesting call right there. 3rd and short. Northern Illinois elects to throw a low percentage fade as opposed to sticking with a run, which is what got them out from the 20-yard line.
Anthony Gallagher in to punt. Averaging about 42 yards a kick. Sean Williams drifting back to his 17-yard line, and good coverage by the Huskies. No return for Sean Williams after a 42-yard punt by Gallagher. And here comes the Alabama offense. For the first time, a little shakeup across the front as Justin Smiley missing his second straight game. Sean Williams, Clint Johnson, Triando Sloop. For the Alabama offense, who is huddled around head coach Mike Shulton. There you see Brody Croyle in the middle of that huddle. Tyler, you and I were talking before the game about this offense. Perhaps people didn't give these players enough credit in the preseason. They have come in and, in many regards, look as if they have been running this offense for several years.
People around the state were very skeptical early on as to whether or not these offensive players could grasp a brand new system after just learning one over the course of the previous months. They've done an excellent job. We saw them versus South Florida, a little slow out of the chute, but they brought it on there in the late in the first half, early second half, all the way throughout the game. Played Oklahoma tough all night long. They've done some great things, and they'll just continue to build on it.
Atlas Harrion will get the start again tonight at left tackle, or rather left guard, and Wesley Britt will be in there in his normal left tackle spot. Brody Croyle will start under center, and Shaw Williams, the lone setback, gets the call, finds some running room, bounces off tacklers, ridden out of bounds around the 35-yard line. A huge hole opened up by the Alabama offensive line, and a good start for number 21.
That's the way you want to start any football game. Nice job by the Alabama offensive line, opening up a huge hole which Shaw could run through. One thing you got to love about Shaw Williams, he keeps his legs driving all the time, and that's what allowed him right there to bounce off the would-be tackle and pick up an extra 5 yards.
Spot him out at the 36-yard line. Two tight ends on 1st and 10. Croyle, plenty of time. Underneath, he finds Zach Fletcher for a short gain. Tripped up by Brian Atkinson, linebacker out of Chicago. Here's the Northern Illinois defense. Reynolds celebrating his 22nd birthday today. Martin Wilson, Leonard Cooksey, Travis Moore. Javon Lee, Nick Duffy, Brian Atkinson, the linebackers. Randy Drew, Rob Lee, very talented corners. Akeel Grant and Lionel Hickenbottom are the safeties. Second down, call it 7 for the Tide. Just shy of their own 40. Blitz comes, and they'll give it to Williams. Spinning away from tacklers, a short gain for Shaw. The ball came out. I believe they will say Shaw was already down.
Refs were very quick to blow the whistle there, so you knew the ball was down automatically. Anytime the ball's loose on the ground, though, the defense is automatically going to assume that they have it.
Changing hands.
It was close, though. It was
very close. It's 3rd and a long 4 for Alabama.
Play clock's winding down.
Just did get it off. Croyle swings it out to Shaw Williams. Keeps his feet, dives across the 40, but he's going to be well shy of the first down. He actually only got back to the line of scrimmage. Randy Drew able to trip him up. Brody Croyle had time, but couldn't find anybody down the field open, so Alabama will have to punt on its opening possession. Bo Freeland will boot it away, and Dan Sheldon back deep. Very dangerous punt returner, averaging about 15 yards a return so far this season. Freeland, a beautiful kick, fielded at the 7, and Sheldon is absolutely leveled right there. Kyle Bennett got down
to make the play, and the Huskies will be starting backed up deep. 9:48 to go in the first quarter.
Now joining us to talk about the game, linebacker Nick Duffy. Can you kind of talk about that first drive that you guys were out on the field? I mean, Bama gets a big run. They're moving the ball down, but then you guys kind of shut the drive down, forced the punt. How big was it to get off the field on a not giving up anything?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, as a defense, you want to get your offense back in the field, clearly, right? And so for us, we knew coming into that game that they were going to try to run the ball on us. And they had a couple plays right out of the gate, but I think ultimately, once we settled down and got things together, we were all good.
Now with us, linebacker Brian Atkinson. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
When you watch that defense, I mean, it was quite possibly the most aggressive bend-don't-break defense I've ever seen. Can you talk about Coach Schaefer's philosophy and his game plan heading in?
Well, we always talked about not giving up too many big plays, and that was what our whole thing, to limit them from the big plays, which, of course, you've seen in there maybe a late play at the end that we did give up. But our whole mindset was not to give up big plays, to keep swarming the ball, and, not to give up on any plays. So it was keeping the offense limited 16 and under as far as the points. And if we achieve that, then we can come out, with possibly a victory. As long as our defense held any opponent 16 and under, that's what our whole mindset was.
Shape's a lot of fun to play for. And Shape's fun to play for because he's an aggressive defensive coordinator at the right time. He's very calculated, but he lets you fly around a little bit. And you can see during that game, we're running a lot of blitzes, right? And we're trying to get those guys to spread the ball like they did ultimately and go speed on speed, which we were able to match. And not only that, when they line up in pro formation to run the ball, as you can see, we were able to stop the run as well.
First down at the 7 for the Huskies, right up the gut. Turner gets him a little breathing room out to the 13-yard line. D'Amico Ryans on the stop.
Husky fans, let's welcome in the man that rushed for 156 yards that day, Michael Turner.
Going into that game, it was like we didn't know, we didn't know we was going to Alabama. We know we was going to a hostile situation. Alabama just played a tough game against Oklahoma, lost by only 6 points. And we was just like, man, okay. We had a big win against, Maryland, whatever. So we felt like we can match up and play against anybody. We knew we had the talent. We just didn't have the recognition and size. Why we have 5-star recruits and everything like Alabama does. And so, they was talking all week about how great this defense was, and they got these first rounders, or first and second rounders on that defense, and high quality guys that's supposed to be big time NFL players. And then we was like, man, whatever. They put the pants on just like we do. Let's go out there and play and show them what we got. And they did. And thankful to my offensive line, they showed up that day.
Foul is holding by the offense. Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul, followed by a repeat of the first down.
A lot of people don't realize how important a receiver's block down the field actually is. If a running back is to run it up the middle and bounce it out, it's 2-on-1 basically. And if he's out there loafing and not blocking his cornerback or his safety, that guy's going to make the tackle. It's so important for them to go down and hustle on every play. That was good effort there by Dan Sheldon. But there, as the play developed and the cornerback pulled away, he's just a little guilty of holding.
They'll bring it back to the 25, and that makes it 1st and 15. Completed to the far side to Sam Hurd. Out to the 35, so he gets the penalty back. Charles Jones, Anthony Bryant there to make the stop. But again, nothing real fancy from Northern Illinois. Very safe play calling early on.
It is, but they're mixing it up. We've seen them have a good bit of success with the run up the middle. They've thrown some very conservative, very safe passes, little slip screen right there. Nice job of getting the offensive lineman out front blocking, able to pick up what they lost in that last play.
And a chance to probably settle down a quarterback who may be a little jittery in front of 83,000. Drops deep to throw, under pressure and sacked back at the 30.
It was just a matter of time. I was wondering when we were going to be able to point this out. Northern Illinois' offensive line is 6'5" and averages 289 pounds versus an Alabama defensive front that averages 6'4", 299 pounds. So there is definitely an advantage for the Alabama front four, and we saw it right there.
Anthony Bryan, Ahmad Childress disrupting things that time. Brings up a 3rd and 10 now for NIU. Haldi buys himself some time and guns it high and incomplete. Looking for P.J. Fleck, Charlie Peppra stride for stride with him. And that'll bring up another punting situation for NIU.
Great hustle there by D'Amico Rhines and Antoine Odom on the pressure, putting pressure on Haldi there. Forces the ball a little bit high and results in a 4th down.
Shawd Williams awaits the punt from Anthony Gallagher, a 43-yard punt. His first time, hangs this one up high. Williams somehow gets out of trouble. Flags fly as Shawd steps out of bounds on the Alabama sideline around the 35. So check the markers. 48-yard punt, a 13-yard return, but I believe this one will be coming back.
Might have been Terrence Jones there with a not quite able to get his head in front of on the front numbers of the Husky punt returner.
Indeed it is, against Alabama. And Tyler, that's something that another impressive part about this Alabama team. The penalties. More about that when we come back. 7:02 to play in the first quarter. Scoreless, the Tide and Northern Illinois.
His philosophy was simple. It was play hard, play for each other, fly around, and have fun. And pretty much the rest would take care of itself. And as long as we gave our all and effort was at a high and we played for each other, we were okay with the outcome.
First down for Alabama. They'll set up shop at the 18-yard line after the penalty. Ray Hudson into the game. Finds some room outside, dives near the 30-yard line, and that'll be good for a first down. The penalty on Alabama setting them back to the 18. But Tyler, this team, an amazing number of penalties, a relatively few number of penalties. They're averaging about 5 flags a game. That's it.
No question. Definitely down from years previous when we were seeing 110, 120-yard games worth of penalties. So much improvement by the Alabama offense this year.
You see Ray Hudson's numbers as he checks into the game to give Shawd Williams a breather. Tim Castile checks in, blocking for Hudson, who sticks his head down and picks up about a yard or 2. And no more.
Ray Hudson. Probably one of the fastest guys on this Alabama offensive unit is Ray Hudson. Drafted initially out of high school, opted to come to the university instead.
Yep, heck of a baseball player, but
great baseball player.
Wanted to play for the Tide, and you saw Tim Castile checking out of the game. Good to see him back in there. He didn't play last week after getting banged up in the loss to Oklahoma. Croyle down the middle, complete to Dre Fulgham. He'll take it into Husky territory at the 49. Rob Lee on the tackle, but a great throw by Brody.
Nice job by Brody Croyle. They were sitting in the pocket, saw the field blitz come and picked up nice by the Alabama offensive line. Delivers a strike to Dre Fulgham.
20-yard pickup. Croyle to Fulgham. Brody 3-2 as a starter for Alabama. The sophomore out of Rainbow City.
One of those losses, of course, was to 13-1 Georgia last year here.
Hudson gets the call again. Not much there that time as he tries the right side. Nick Duffy, one of the captains on this NIU team, making the tackle.
Duffy's definitely one of the leaders of this Husky defense. Butkus Award candidate. If Shawd Williams is a heart and soul of Alabama, Duffy is a heart and soul of the Husky defense.
Absolutely. Second down and 10 as we tick under 5 minutes to go in a scoreless first quarter. Croyle rifles it complete to David Cavan along the near side. Makes one man miss, barrels inside the 40 before Duffy again able to make the tackle. Close to a first down, maybe just a little bit shy.
Alabama spreading it out, sending all 5 eligible receivers on pass routes. Brody Crowell just hits a little safety valve right there with David Cavan, lets him do the rest of the work.
First catch for Cavan this year. Check that, his second reception of the season. He does get Alabama a first down at the Husky 38. Little misdirection to Sean Williams, who was very close to a big gain. Just tripped up by Rob Lee at the 32.
And he knows it too. He wanted that, but one thing about this play is just what a great effort of avoiding that first tackle. There you see it. Nice job once again is keeping those knees up, allowing him to break the tackle and pick up extra yardage.
Saw it a lot last week. Amazing balance by Sean even after contact.
No question about it. He's an explosive runner, but one, like you just said, that is so agile he can bounce off of would-be tacklers.
Second and short. Give it to Williams again. Trying to follow the block of Dennis Alexander. Takes it inside the 30, close to another first down.
One thing the Alabama offensive line prides himself in is overpowering defensive fronts. It's a great job there by the Alabama front 5. Oftentimes they don't get a whole lot of credit, but they are very deserving of it.
Alexander making his 11th start. Saw J.B. Klausner there getting start at center again tonight. And it is a first down. Injury bug has bitten a little bit early on across the Alabama offensive line. We mentioned Justin Smiley missing his second straight game, but so far so good. They haven't really missed a beat, and it's nice to get some of those backups, some quality playing time, and for Atlas Harrion, a couple starts.
He's very capable. He redshirted, of course, last year, but on the previous year he played in almost every game. So for him to step in and do a great job, we shouldn't be surprised.
Play action for Croyle. Good protection. Looking in the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Zach Fletcher went up high to bring that one in, and Alabama takes the early lead.
What a beautiful throw and catch from Brody Croyle to Zach Fletcher there. Nothing real fancy about that. Here we see Brody with a nice play fake to Sean Williams, sets up. He was covered too. It's just a great throw and catch. Nice concentration by Zach Fletcher.
Outdueled Rob Lee for the football. Here's Brian Bostic to add the extra point, and it's blocked. Huskies come away with it, still loose, and heading down the sidelines for possibly 2 points, Kevin Woods. He will take it in, and that changes things very quickly. I think Martin Wilson, the man that may have gotten the block, the Huskies able to scoop up the loose ball, and Kevin Woods returns it for 2 points.
Give credit there to the Northern Illinois special teams for applying pressure, picking up the block there. They never quit. Bostic did a nice job of bringing down the player there, but nice hustle by the rest of the Huskies there to pick it up and run it in for 2.
Another look at the touchdown pass from Croyle to Fletcher. Did he hang on to it? I think he did, just long enough. But as good as that was, this is as disappointing if you're a Tide fan. Extra point blocked. Kevin Woods takes it the rest of the way and gets the Huskies on the board.
Great effort there. Never quit on the play did Kevin Woods there, and was Sometimes the ball just bounces right up in your hands, and when it does, he took advantage of it and ran it in for 2 points.
Third touchdown pass of the season for Brody Croyle. Another impressive scoring drive for Alabama. 8 touchdown drives this season. 6 of them now have covered more than 79 yards. And another long sustained drive there, that one covering 82 yards. But even with the touchdown pass, it's a 6-2 lead for the Crimson Tide as Kyle Robinson set to kick off again. High, deep kick taken in by Hickenbottom at the 2. Bottled up, brought down at the 14 as another flag comes in. Carlos Andrews credited with the tackle, but let's check the marker.
Terrence Jones made the tackle for Alabama.
A block in the back against the Huskies, so they will be pinned back even farther.
Nice job there by Alabama's kickoff coverage team, pinning Northern Illinois inside the 15 yards. With the aid of this penalty, it's going to back them up even further, making it that much difficult for the Husky offense to drive the field and get some
Foul
points.
is an illegal block in the back by the returning team during the return. In this instance, the penalty is half the distance to the goal, followed by a first down.
Saw Joe Novak, the head coach for NIU, on the sidelines. We said a real steady building process. He was 3-30 from 1996 to 1998. But has done a great job getting things going. Haldi throws from his end zone, completes it to Hurd right at the 10-yard line, wrapped up by D'Amico Ryans. Hurd, the sophomore out of San Antonio, Texas.
Simple little bootleg there. Nice job by Haldi delivering a nice strike for a 5-yard gain. Good pressure, though, by Naughton McKay-Loescher, and D'Amico Ryans on the tackle.
Closing in on 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Haldi hit as he throws. Pass caught, though, by P.J. Fleck on the near side. Roman Harper laid the lumber to Josh Haldi that time, but able to get it away, and Fleck able to reel it in.
Roman Harper's just going to sneak up from his weak safety position, catch Haldi there right up under the ribs. It was a completion, but he's going to bring up a 3rd and short, but more importantly, they keep applying pressure to Haldi. It's going to wear on him throughout the course of this game.
18 catches for P.J. Fleck coming into this ball game. Play clock at 7 as Haldi goes under center. 3rd and short. Turner cuts it up, has the first down and more. They'll move the pile out near the 24-yard line. Once he gets that momentum going, he is awfully hard to bring down.
He is strong. There's a lot of man inside of that uniform right there. We saw Antoine Odom scrape down from his defensive end position, tried to deliver a lick about after a 3-yard gain, but Turner there just too strong for him. Picks up the first down and more.
41 yards already on 7 carries. Gets him a first down, a fresh set of downs at the 24. Gets the call again. Not much that time as he nudges out to the 25. Ryans and Pope combined on the stop.
1 yard on the play, 2nd and 9 from the 25.
Mentioned the Alabama defense allowing only 50 yards a game on the ground. And Turner approaching that number here as time winds down in the first quarter. As you see Joe Kynes, the Alabama defensive coordinator, one of 3 former head coaches now serving as assistants to Mike Shula. Haldi bobbled the snap, guns it complete again to P.J. Fleck across the way. Gets popped out of bounds by Charlie Pepra. Stops the clock with 17 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Boy, did he get popped by Charlie Pepper there. Pepper coming off of his assignment and delivering a nice lick.
7 yards on the play.
Gain of 7 for P.J. Fleck.
3rd down.
And a greeting from Charlie Pepper at the end of it. Another 3rd and short. A short 2 for the Huskies. Turner hit in the backfield, gets away, and will pick up the first down. A hard fought 2, maybe 3 yards before he's finally brought down by the Alabama defense. And that will likely be the final play of the first quarter.
A 3-yard gain, first down, at the 35.
Final seconds tick away. And after 1 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the only touchdown. But the Crimson Tide only leading it 6-2 over Northern Illinois.
You talk about the special teams. I thought that played a huge role in what you guys were able to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, from the beginning, from when the block happened, after they scored, it kind of like they couldn't celebrate too quickly, you know, because our special teams just basically came right back, and we just scored some points too. So, you know, with Kevin Woods running it back like that, that, you know, they kind of like, you know, the tables in the motivation that we had just basically, you know, rose a little bit in scoring, you know, after they just scored a touchdown. So they couldn't celebrate too quickly.
15 minutes in the books at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Into the top 25 this week at number 21, leads Northern Illinois 6-2. David Crane, Tyler Watts, Chris Stewart with you. As the Huskies out of the Mid-American Conference pay a visit to the capstone. They got a 1st and 10 as the second quarter gets underway. Turner straight ahead. Here's the 40-yard line. Derek Pope, D'Amico Ryans once again team up to make the stop.
Pope and the linebacking core, probably the strength of this Alabama defense, are doing a good job of shedding their blocks. Unfortunately for the Alabama football team, it's not until Turner is 5 or 6 yards past the line of scrimmage.
10 carries, 52 yards for the senior. They'll get it again. Coming around the near side, flags fly as A.J. Harris, into the game. Excuse me. But this one will likely be coming back. Harris, the sophomore out of Wheaton, Illinois, giving Turner a break. But it looks like somebody had a hold of a crimson jersey.
Mark Anderson there playing the left defensive end position, doing all he could to get off of his block. Unable to because he had a good fistful of his jersey. So that'll back him up.
Foul is holding by the offense. Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul, followed by a repeat of the second down.
There's such a fine line between holding and good blocking. And it's really at the discrepancy of the referees a lot of times, because the old saying is you can just about call it holding on any play.
First quarter numbers fairly even, but again, Alabama with the touchdown strike from Coyle to Fletcher. Swing pass completed to A.J. Harris, circling out of the backfield. Good gain on 2nd and long as Charles Jones makes the stop for Alabama.
Northern Illinois doing a good job of overcoming adversity. They get backed up there on the holding penalty. Second time tonight that we've seen them after a penalty. They'll come right back and pick up what yardage they lost. Now they're going to have a 3rd and about 5 or 6 yards, which is something that they can pick up.
Harris still in the game at running back for the Huskies. Quick throw, pass caught by Keith Perry. Ridden down as he crosses the 45, and that will be good for the first down. Roman Harper on the stop, but the Huskies will move the chains again. This team, Tyler, has, we mentioned, the upset of Maryland already this year. They upset Wake Forest last year. They played Wisconsin to the final seconds in Madison a year ago. This team is not going to be intimidated by Alabama or the crowd here at Bryant-Denny.
They've played in big games before in hostile situations. They played an excellent first quarter, and here early in the second quarter they're playing good.
Give it back to Turner, who returns, slips a tackle, will take it into Alabama territory. Ridden down by Roman Harper.
Antoine Odom, it looked like, had a hold on him right there at the line of scrimmage, unable to bring him down. There, once again, you see the strength of Michael Turner as he's able to elude the tackle and pick up about 8 yards.
13 100-plus yard rushing games in his career, and he is over halfway there as we play the second quarter. On second down, they'll give it to Turner. Slips another tackle. Able to keep his feet to about the 42-yard line before Charles Jones gets him to the ground.
Nice job out there by Charles Jones coming up from his safety position. It did result in a first down, but could have been more.
Nothing inside and quick enough to get it outside, strong enough to avoid a tackler.
He is, and that's a nice tackle there by Charles Jones. He's not an easy back to bring down, so that's a great job there by Charles Jones.
But another first down. Another touch for Turner. Stumbles forward near the 40. 11.5 to go in the first half. Tide leading at 6-2 after a touchdown pass from Brody Croyle to Zach Fletcher. The extra point blocked and returned for 2 points by Northern Illinois.
New face there on the Alabama defensive line. That was the second play here, but Kyle Tatum, we haven't really seen a whole lot of Kyle this year. Suffered an ankle injury there in preseason training. Missed the first couple of games, but adding him to this defensive line is definitely going to help out with the depth situation.
And another timeout called by the Huskies. Second timeout taken by NIU in the first half. 11:01 to go before halftime. A 6-2 lead for Mike Shula's Crimson Tide.
No, they're incredible. They kept me really clean given the circumstances. And Mike, you know, ran his tail off, and AJ when he was in there as well. Listen, we don't go down there and win if they don't play as well as they did. There's no question about it. And I think, you know, we tried to do some things in the game plan. I mentioned it earlier. You know, get them up the field, use their speed against them a little bit, do some trapping, some isolation. Getting folks outside of the pocket, if you will, from a running perspective as well. But there's no question that, you know, they played really, really well. They took on the challenge.
The Huskies on the move, though, here early in the second quarter.
Going in, we knew we had to run the football and stay ahead of the chains and not put yourself in the second and third down and longs, because that's when the defense can dictate the situation a little bit more. And we thought, you know, for the balance of the game offensively, we were able to do what we wanted to do at the times that we wanted to do it, which is the situation you want to be in.
Academic All-SEC, yeah. Tyler Watts.
He's definitely a smart quarterback, though, and he does an excellent job of not making mistakes, giving his offensive unit an opportunity to move the ball down the field.
Lines up in the shotgun. We'll swing it out to Sam Hurd. Hurd made a nice move, but he really gets rattled as he takes it inside the 35-yard line.
One thing that Charlie Pepra and Charles Jones did not want to see right there was those two big linemen coming at him, and they did a good job of blocking them. Fortunately enough for Alabama's defense, though, it's an excellent effort on the inside by, I believe, D'Amico Ryans, scraping down the line and making the tackle.
Terrence Jones, freshman from here in Tuscaloosa, finishing things off for Alabama. 3rd and 2. Haldi, pump fake, now goes deep. And overthrown and out of bounds. Looking for Keith Perry. Derek Pope in the coverage that time.
We saw the same type of shift here earlier in the first quarter, where they did, in fact, take Keith Perry from his tight end position. They flexed him out, had man coverage, obviously, with Pope running with him. They ran the hitch last time and had good success with it, picked up about 8 yards. Thought they'd be able to get Pope to bite right there. He did a nice job of playing the position. overthrown and out of bounds, it'll bring up 4th down.
Steve Azar on to try a 51-yard field goal. He's 2 for 4 this year, and he's connected from 52. He's got plenty of leg, and it's good.
The kick is good.
51-yard field goal by Steve Azar, the senior from Colorado Springs. And he brings the Huskies to within a point.
He kicked that ball like he was still in Colorado. That thing flew off of his foot. That's a strong leg right there.
Azar now with 283 career points for the Huskies. He's the MAC kick scoring, or closing in rather, on the MAC kick scoring record, which is 320 points. Strong leg, but he is a kicker. Take a guess what his nickname is. Steve Azar, also known as Bizarre.
Where do people come up with these nicknames?
15 plays, 60 yards, almost 8 minutes off the clock, and that man, number 13, Steve Azar, able to finish it off. 5'7", 195-pound senior. And Mike Shula's team giving up some yardage that time, but keeps the Huskies out of the end zone. Azar to kick it away. As Ray Hudson and Shawn Williams are the twin deep men for Alabama. High, short kick, taken in by Hudson at the 6. Hudson takes it out to the 20-yard line. That's where Alabama will start things. Back down to the sidelines now, and our man Chris Stewart.
David, we've seen a lot of Michael Turner already in this ball game. They've really pushed him for the Heisman Trophy this year. A lot of these notebooks were sent out featuring Turner, the burner. They've got a list on the inside of a lot of his accomplishments, being a Heisman Trophy candidate, All-American. The most interesting being, they call him the best Turner since Atkinson. I don't know about that, but his legs cannot match hers. I know that, no matter how good he is.
Alabama football. Croyle eludes trouble and will pick up a first down. Shades of Tyler Watts scrambling for 11 yards.
What a great run there by Brody Croyle. How he avoided that tackle, I have absolutely no idea. We saw David Cavan, or was it Clint Johnson, there dragging on the play. Appeared to be open, but Brody, realizing there was pressure, does a nice job of stepping up and spinning out right there. Turns absolutely nothing into something.
11 yards with a lot of white shirts at his face. Positive rushing yards for a quarterback is always a good sign. Ken Darby, his first touch of the night. A 2-yard pickup on first down. Akil Grant, senior, making the stop.
Ken Darby is an exciting running back to watch. He's going to do just tremendous things for the university over the course of the next 3 years.
Redshirt freshman out of Huntsville, and you think he reminds you of another Alabama running back.
Shawn Williams, after watching him in practice last year, there's a lot of similarities in the two.
Croyle will swing it out to Darby on the far side. The Huskies react well and will drop him for basically no gain on the play. Nick Duffy out there to make the stop.
Probably be calling Duffy's name a lot tonight. He is the senior leader on this Husky defense, playing middle linebacker. He's all over the field.
Ken Darby, 5'11", 186 pounds, out of Butler High School. Third and long for Alabama. They'll say Darby lost a yard. Huskies show blitz. Croyle again eludes trouble. Going deep. Caught. Fulgham to the 25. Akil Grant got turned around, I think, and that allowed Fulgham to go up and take it away.
in talking with some of the Alabama players earlier in the week, and as well as some of the coaching staff just before the game, Northern Illinois is going to bring everybody up in the box and put their safeties and corners in one-on-one. They're going to take some chances. They feel like they have to in order to win this football game. The Alabama offense realizes that. They know they're going to have some shots on this Husky defense, and when they get those opportunities, they have to take advantage of them.
43 yards on that play. Croyle to Fulgham. And Alabama has first down at the 25, but the play clock winding down, and Brody Croyle will spin the Tide's first timeout of the first half. 7:29 to go in quarter number 2. 6-5, Bama leading it, but the Tide is threatening.
I can't say enough about Steve and his career, and the fans saw what he did obviously against Maryland to get us to overtime, and there was never a situation where I didn't have utmost confidence in him coming in and making big kicks for us. I think he ended his career as the MAC leading scorer in its history. So, no, it was huge to get some points on the board, get it to 6-5. Our defense was playing great, and we just had to offensively stay, in our game plan and in our rhythm, and appreciate, that, what we were trying to do is working, and eventually we could hit some big ones, and you saw that in the second half.
Tide leading 6-5 midway through the second quarter. Crimson Tide and 5 other SEC teams boast appearances in this week's AP Top 25 poll. Catch all the gridiron action this week on CSS with 5 encore presentations, including 3 matchups featuring ranked SEC squads. Don't miss it.
Complimentary membership in the local Tuscaloosa alumni chapter.
Mike Shula visiting with his offensive unit.
Invitations to paint-sponsored events and more.
Bama with the football at the NIU 25 after the big gainer. Ray Hudson checks back into the game for the Tide. Tim Castile in front of him in the eye. It'll be Hudson for a short gain as another marker comes in. Brian Atkinson credited with the tackle, but we'll see if the play stands. Alan, neither of these teams have been heavily penalized early on.
Foul is offsides by the defense. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot, followed by a repeat of the first down.
About 5 flags a game on average for both of these teams, but penalties have hurt the Huskies so far.
They have normally a very disciplined team, and without question it has hurt them.
There you see 4 already against NIU. Gives Alabama a 1st and 5. Hudson, the ball carrier, tries to hurdle a man. Picks up a couple of yards as he's upended. Under 7 minutes to play here in the first half. And a high-scoring baseball game right now, 6-5 Alabama.
Both teams are content on trying to run the ball, trying to establish dominance there at the line of scrimmage. Both offensive units have had some success. Alabama the only team able to put it in the end zone.
Second down, Darby back into the game, play action, and the receiver fell down. Tim Castile got tripped up and saw that ball sail over his head, incomplete. Stops the clock with 6:24 to go, and Brody's first incompletion of the night.
Impressive start there for Brody Croyle, taking advantage of a couple of deep balls, as well as being very conservative and spreading the ball out over the field. Castile slipped right there, what would have been 8 for 8.
3rd and 3. Quick step, throw, catch, no, incomplete. Zach Fletcher had it for a second, but Randy Drew able to get a hand in there and knock it away. Heads up play by Croyle, knew the blitz was coming, but just couldn't quite hook up with Fletcher.
Took a shot as he threw the ball, as you see a shoulder pad sticking out from his jersey right now, but delivered a nice ball there to Fletcher. Good play there by Randy, I'm sorry. making sure that he did not receive the ball and run it in.
Bostic on now to try a 35-yard field goal. Out of the hold of Gabe Jardina. High snap, Jardina gets it down, and Bostic bangs it through. So Alabama pads its lead, 9-5. Now the Crimson Tide leading it. 6:11 to play in the first half here in Tuscaloosa.
Can you talk a bit about that secondary? You and I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I mean, how special was that group, and how did it allow you guys to do what you guys did up front?
Oh, I mean, yeah, if it wasn't for those guys, Randy Drew, Lionel Hickenbottom, Akil, I mean, those guys was like, honestly, was like the extended version of linebackers to me, you know, because Lionel Hickenbottom, his aggressiveness, and Akil, his being able to come in like a linebacker and fill in holes, I mean, and they kept us motivated, you know, they kept us going, you know, even when it was our darkest times of any type of play. You know, you had Lionel Hickenbottom to get us going, or Akil to get us going, and it gave us time to get to those quarterbacks and get to the running backs with such great coverage that they had in the secondary. You know, and as you can see in this Alabama game, you know, they couldn't, you know, they didn't have a lot of big plays, you know, as far as in throwing it down the field. You know, they limited it, you know, and they had to limit their offense due to the great secondary that we had.
Yeah, so secondary is huge, right? And we were fortunate because I think we had 4 of the best guys around. You know, you had 2 cover corners and Randy Drew and Rob Lee, and then you had 2 of the hardest hitting safeties I'd ever seen, probably still to this day, and Akil Grant and Lionel Hickenbottom. And then what that does is really give you the ability to kind of do some fun stuff up front, you know, run some blitzes, run some different techniques, knowing that those guys are behind you to stop any pass that's going to be out there. So it was pretty special to have those guys behind you.
Another impressive march by the Alabama offense, but having to settle for the field goal. He plays 62 yards. And good to see the Alabama offense answer a score with a score of its own. Robinson boots it away. Hickenbottom at the 4. Up into before he reaches the 20. And more good coverage by the Alabama special teams. Lance Taylor, Leslie Williams, both in on the stop for the Tide.
Several Alabama players there hustling down the field, making sure that the ball did not cross the 20-yard line. The Huskies will start at about the 18.
They have not had great field position the entire first half.
And field position is important because those earlier punts and things might have resulted in field goal attempts.
Turner on first down for a couple. But again, that's a credit to this NIU team. They have not been rattled at all by the mistakes, the poor field position, and find themselves down by only 4 late in the first half.
Well, they're sticking with their game plan, and they have no reason to do otherwise. They've been successful at doing what their bread and butter, which is running the ball up the middle, allowing Michael Turner to run freely. He's done a great job of breaking tackles, and it's given Josh Haldi there, you see he's 9 for 12 for the night, an opportunity to make some plays himself.
Haldi deals it off to Turner, who's in trouble and dropped for a loss. Back at the 15-yard line, Derek Pope wraps him up. First time Alabama has really gotten good penetration.
It is. Michael Turner's done an excellent job all night long of being able to break away from tackles. Derek Pope does a nice job of scraping, and when Derek Pope gets to you, it's going to be very difficult to get away from him.
3rd and 13. And here comes the Alabama crowd. Haldi rolls, fires long and incomplete. Looking for Sam Hurd, Anthony Madison that time with good coverage for Alabama, and indeed 3 and out for NIU. And Alabama stands to get some fairly good field position on this exchange.
Great coverage there by the Alabama secondary. Wasn't a whole lot of pressure on Haldi, but he was forced from the pocket and threw an errant ball out of bounds.
Gallagher to punt it away to Shaud Williams, who's already returned one this year for a touchdown. Low tumbling kick, touched around the 50-yard line by NIU.
Good job by Shaud Williams there, letting his blockers on the Gunners know that he's calling a safe. He's telling everybody to get away from the ball to make sure that it's not touched by Alabama.
So Alabama sets up shot right at midfield. 4.5 minutes to go before halftime. Williams back into the game, in trouble, and will go down for a 3 or 4 yard loss. Martin Wilson, Travis Moore shooting into the Alabama backfield and dropping him for a loss.
Not a whole lot happening on that play. Nice job by Wilson and Moore, both penetrating, getting into the backfield, not allowing Shaud Williams to run where he would like. He does the smart thing, ducks down, and we'll play second down.
Second and long as Castile checks back in at the F spot. Coyle flips that one complete to Williams. Coming out of the Alabama backfield, and he's close to the first down marker. Rob Lee on the stop.
Great job of executing the screen there by Alabama's offense. We saw offensive linemen going downfield. Brody does a nice job, as well as Shaud Williams, of staying behind the line of scrimmage so that there's not a flag. You see him here, he just kind of wiggles through there, makes sure that he catches the ball because he doesn't know if he's going to get hit or not. Picks up nice yardage there. It's going to bring up 3rd and short.
Nice job by Coyle just to find him in all that traffic. It does set up 3rd and inches, quarterback sneak, and a first down for Alabama. Clock stops momentarily with 3:10 to play. Tied still with 2 timeouts, so plenty of time here before halftime.
Alabama needs to make sure that they get points here on this possession. They have good field position. They've been moving the football all night long. It would be huge for this Alabama football team if they were to go into halftime up 16-5 or even 12-5. You'll take any points that you can possibly get.
Total yardage, Bama really picking up where it left off last week against Kentucky. Williams shakes a man outside as a flag flies. And this one may be coming back. As Doyle Jackson and his crew have been fairly busy early on.
Alabama can't afford to shoot themselves in the foot with penalties. It's tough to go forward when you're going backward.
The foul is holding by the offense. Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul, followed by a repeat of the first down.
Oftentimes when you're given the kind of effort that these players are giving, penalties will result. Holding is probably nothing more than an offensive lineman or a wide receiver trying to give his running back the best opportunity to gain yardage.
Deep drop by Coyle, and he'll go short to Castile on the near side. Tim wrapped up as he takes it into NIU territory. Brian Atkinson on the stop.
Corner blitz there by Northern Illinois, picked up nicely by Shaud Williams.
Another thing he may not get enough credit for, his blocking.
He does an excellent job, there's no question. He realized how important the quarterback's protection is to how he performs that night. Nobody out there wants to see any of their players get hurt as a result of their error. Nice job by Shaud on their own block.
Call it 2nd and 17. Trying to set up the screen to the near side, but a little too tall for Williams.
Looks like they had it set up nice, a little bit high, a little bit hot for Shaud there. Results in 3rd down. But they've shown at times tonight how productive this offense can be, and they can pick up this first down.
Arm strength, not a question for Brody Coyle, but occasionally will put a little too much on one. Movement across the front as Evan Mathis got an early start for Alabama. That'll back him up 5 more yards.
There's a dead ball. Movement of the offensive line prior to the snap. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat of the third down.
Something Alabama's done a very good job of this year that's very uncharacteristic, to see those illegal procedure penalties by the offensive line.
Shotgun for Croyle now. Steps up. Rifles that one and incomplete. Lance Taylor had a hand on it, but couldn't reel it in. So a promising start to a drive, but Alabama winds up punting on 4th and long.
Probably a good thing. Well, you say that. You might have an opportunity to kick the field goal had the ball been completed, but had the ball been thrown in front, I believe number 27 for the Huskies, Rob Lee, was waiting to decapitate someone.
Freeland back into punt. And may have been blocked. Goes straight up in the air and caught by Alabama. It'll go out of bounds around the 42, 43-yard line. Jason Hawkins, I think the man that got in there and blocked it.
Pressure coming from up the middle.
Hard to tell if he blocked it or simply made Freeland try and alter his kick to avoid getting it blocked. At any rate, it went straight up in the air. And the Huskies will have great field position with 1:41 to play in the first half, trailing 9-5. They've got it at the Alabama 43 to start this drive. Haldi completes it across the way to Fleck. It runs out of bounds at the 30.
Once again, Josh Haldi not forcing the issue. He takes a nice conservative pass. It results in a first down reception there to number 82, P.J. Fleck. We'll be calling his name a lot. He's definitely an outstanding receiver for the Huskies. Does an excellent job for him. One of Josh Haldi's favorite targets.
Career high 13 catches for 116 yards in their win over Maryland to start the season. First down. Haldi to throw again. Wants it all this time and overshoots Sam Hurd, his intended receiver. Check that. Chatone Powers, the man he was looking for that time.
Anthony Bryant and Antoine Oman have been in the backfield all night long. Once again, able to squeeze through there and apply pressure on Haldi. Pass fell incomplete. Nice coverage there by Charles Jones. But as long as they continue to put that kind of pressure on Haldi, it is going to wear on him throughout the course of this game.
Shotgun again for Haldi. Turner alongside him. Pressure. Sack. Back at the 40. Antoine Odom. 14 career sacks coming into the game. He adds another one there.
He's been in the backfield all night long. Once again, he's able to squeeze through there. He just overpowers the Northern Illinois offensive line.
3rd and long. Nice throw and catch on the near side, out of bounds, just inside the 30. Chatone Powers at full extension, reeling that one in. Clock stopped with 55 seconds to go. And they'll bring on the field goal unit.
Once again, the Alabama defensive front is able to force its way into the backfield. Not McKay Losher there hurdling the blocker and able to apply pressure on Josh Haldi.
A 47-yard try for Azar. He's already hit from 51. Again, long enough, but this one stays wide right. Couldn't draw it back in.
Huge break for the Crimson Tide right there. Of course, you got to give a lot of credit to the Alabama defense. They came in, they did not allow any yardage aside from that first play. They really bared down. Got the huge sack from Antoine Odom, consistently putting pressure on him all night long. The result is a missed field goal.
Azar couldn't draw that one back in, so Alabama dodges the bullet after the special teams mishap. And it stays a 9-5 Alabama lead.
What do you do if you were Mike Shula right here? You have 48 seconds. Your offense has been clicking all night long.
2 timeouts. We'll see.
Draw to Williams. To the 35. Bama going with the hurry up.
Alabama runs their 2-minute drill a lot like NFL teams. They allow Brody Croyle the freedom to do what he wants on the field. He can really get in the flow of the game, as you see right here.
Flag down as the pass completed to Zach Fletcher. He takes it into Husky territory. But it will be taken off the books.
Something that we have not seen all year long. This is the second drive in a row where penalties have really hurt.
Foul is holding by the offense. Penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. Follow repeated the second down.
Play clock down now to 20 seconds. They spotted at the 25-yard line, so one would think now the Tide will simply run out the clock here in the first half. So Bama will head to the locker room owning a 9-5 lead over a more than spirited Northern Illinois team. Down to the sidelines now, Chris Stewart with the Alabama head coach.
Coach, I know obviously upset with the penalties miss. What did please you, though, from the first half?
Well, we ball in the end zone the whole time, and we couldn't even enjoy that for a second. We get the extra point blocked, and they take it back for 2 points. So we've these guys are Northern Illinois is pretty good now. They can create, do a great job. Knew that going in. They're running the ball against our defense early. Our defense came back later though and stopped them in a crucial point there at the end of the second quarter. So we just regroup and do the things that we can do well and stop making the mistakes.
Good luck second half.
Okay, thank you.
David.
Thanks a lot, Chris. The Tide and the Huskies head to the locker room. Alabama with a 4-point halftime lead, 9-5 over NIU. Back to Tuscaloosa after this.
What was the message from the coaching staff and during the break?
No, listen, offensively, it was honestly, and thinking back, a lot of it was, hey, here's what we're going to do. There wasn't a ton of adjustments from a framework of the type of things we want to do offensively. Certainly there's some things that we were going to clean up and in areas that we thought we could potentially take advantage of and what we were seeing from a coverage and just box defensive structure perspective. But listen, it was nothing memorable from a, hey, we got to fundamentally change what we're doing offensively. I think to a man, we all thought, okay, we just need to go into the second half, play our style of football, and we'll see what's going to happen at the end. But, it was a relatively calm halftime discussion, and guys were just kind of gearing up for, what was going to transpire in the second half here.
I can remember Schaefer just letting us know that, we're better than what, you think you are. So he knew what kind of type of defense that, he had, and we had a great defense. As you can see, we had at least about, I want to say at least 8 people that was all conference on our defensively, So we was experienced. We knew what we was doing. And we was confident. That was the thing. So he got us going, and he told us just do what we do.
The mentality was we're supposed to be here. We belong here. And just stay the course, follow the game plan, play fast. And then the one thing that Coach Novak and Coach Schaefer and Coach Narduzzi, they harped over and over and over in my position, Coach Sabak, was savor this moment. You won't get this moment back again. Have fun and live in the moment. And that was a special time at halftime, because I don't think a lot of people knew going into that game or felt like we would be in that position to win, have a shot to win.
Fairly comfortable for the Tide and the Huskies. I misspoke a moment ago. NIU will not be getting the football to start the second half. Alabama will get the ball when we get things started. Joe Novak and his Husky team trying to get their first win against a Southeastern Conference team. Coach Novak 0-3.
The Huskies all-time 0-8 against the Southeastern Conference. Alabama all-time 1-1 against teams from the Mid-American Conference, the current alignment of the MAC. Mike Shula, don't know how much you've had the opportunity to be around him, Tyler, but everybody remembers him calm, cool as a quarterback under pressure when he was here, and not much has changed. That's about as excited as you will see him most of the game.
You're absolutely right. He's very calm, regardless of the situation. He knows that he needs to keep his composure so as not to rattle his players. He's always been very businesslike. If you ask anybody that played with him in the mid-'80s, always carried around a briefcase everywhere he went. It was just like a businessman.
Bama will get the ball. Ramsey Robinson and Ray Hudson are back deep for Alabama. Azar set to boot it away. Low line drive kick that Robinson reaches up the field and will bring it out. Takes it up to the 27-yard line, but not surprisingly, there is a flag down, and Alabama will get backed up.
Well, it looks like they're going to get Jawan Garth here for an illegal push in the back, and it looked like he had his hands on the inside. You couldn't really tell, trying to run his player past Ramsey Robinson. It's going to back Alabama up regardless of whether he was guilty or not, though.
Foul was an illegal block in the back during the return by the returning team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal, followed by a first down.
So instead of the 27 or thereabouts, Alabama will start from its own 8. The Tide hasn't been phased this year by bad field position. Already touchdown drives of 90 and 97 yards this year. Straight ahead running on first down, trying to just get a little breathing room. Sean Williams tackled by Brian Atkinson.
Look for Alabama's offensive front to really take control of this football game here in the second half. We talk about it. They pride themselves on being able to overpower any defensive front in the nation. They handled their own against Oklahoma. They want to take control and take charge of this football game right now in the third quarter.
Solid first half for Croyle. Drops to throw, guns that one, incomplete. Looking for Clint Johnston, a little wide of the target. Akil Grant was all over the Alabama tight end.
Looked like Clint Johnston and Brody Croyle kind of got crossed on exactly where the ball should have been. Of course, Brody has the advantage. He can see where all of the defenders on the field are when he's throwing the ball. Saw number 21 for Northern Illinois. That's Akil Grant coming up. Knew he needed to stick it on the outside shoulder. Unfortunately, Clint Johnston did not anticipate that same placement.
Third down and 6. Deep drop for Croyle. Deep to the far side. Caught. Triandos Luke, his first grab of the night. And it gets Alabama out of a hole. First down, Crimson Tide at the 40.
Absolutely perfect throw and catch right there. Here we see Brody Croyle drop back. Everything's going on to his top. Gets a little pressure, just a little smash route combination. Perfect throw, perfect catch by Triandus Luke. Number 18 even came off of the smash route and dropped back. It wasn't but one place that ball could be, and an outstanding job.
Gets the Tide a first down. Croyle flushed out, and we'll throw that one away.
Most quarterbacks would have struggled right there to even get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. Of course, Brody has he possesses tremendous arm strength. For him to be able to run backwards while rolling out, still get it out of bounds, across the line of scrimmage, he's a great athlete, there's no question.
And a heads-up play to not take the sack and not force anything. Sets up a 2nd and 10. Castile and Williams in the backfield. Williams gets the call, had a big hole, but it closed fairly quickly. Nice open field tackle by Akil Grant. 5 yards, but it looked like he was going to have a lot more than that.
Alabama playing with that little counter action by the tailback. It seems to have been a favorite this year with the offense. Has been very successful, picks up about 5 or 6 yards right there.
Right on his seasonal average, about 5 yards a carry for Shaw tonight. Croyle buys himself some more time. Now tucks it and we'll move it out just across the 45-yard line. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Lionel Hickenbottom brings him to the ground. Travis Moore and Vincent Reynolds applying the pressure to Brody that time.
Crowd screaming. They thought they had Dre Fulgham deep on a little corner route. Brody, with the experience that he does have, saw Randy Drew dropping back in coverage and knew that if that ball were to be released, it would have resulted in an interception.
Punting time for Alabama. Freeland hangs it up high. Sheldon makes the grab at the 18. You see a glimpse of how dangerous he can be as Sheldon darts out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. 37-yard punt, a 10-yard return.
Alabama's defense had a nice stop there at the end of the first half of play. Would like nothing more than to start the second half the same way.
Timeout, 12:04 to play here in the third quarter. 9-5 our score remains. Alabama on top of Northern Illinois.
You can tell what they tried to do is, hey, we'll just run the ball. We'll stuff it down their throat. We'll get 3-6 yards, 3-6 yards. And we'll do that all game. And that wasn't the case. You know, we had played teams that tried to come out and do that before, and it just wasn't the case. We were a great run-stopping team, but we had an incredible secondary, right? We had 2 incredible corners that could lock down anybody. And like I said before, 2 of the hardest-hitting safeties, I think, around. So when you're trying to run the football on us, it's going to be very difficult. And then you talk about Scott Schaefer and what he's doing throughout that game. You watch the linebacker blitzes, right? You watch the stunts up front. He's moving everybody around to a point where they're still confused. And that really allowed us to kind of make some plays and some tackle for losses that I think allowed us to win that football game.
Turner, his first touch of the second half. Pops outside for a gain of about 4. Yeah, Justin Smiley had started 27 consecutive games before last week, and he is in street clothes for the second straight ball game.
Justin Smiley, definitely a huge asset for this Alabama offense. Has started since his freshman year. Extremely strong individual. Holds a couple of tied weight room records.
Shotgun for Haldi. Swings it out to Dan Sheldon. But Alabama reacts very quickly. Short pickup as Derek Pope closed in a hurry that time.
Also a nice job there by Anthony Madison. You can see here Josh Haldi there receiving the ball, throwing the little slip screen. Anthony Madison does a great job of coming off the block of an offensive lineman, making the tackle.
Naughton McKay Lozier going up high to try and disrupt that pass. Third down for the Alabama defense. Haldi rifles that one complete to the far side. Really gunned that one in to Keith Perry. Another flag comes down.
Same route as what we saw earlier. We've seen both the hitch in about the same place in the first quarter on the field there, and in the second quarter we saw a little hitch and go. This time the Huskies elect to throw the hitch. Hard to defend that versus the size of Keith Perry. A big old tight end, does a nice job of running routes.
Perry, a big target, as Tyler said, 6'3", 220. Senior out of Maywood, Illinois. The flag was against Alabama.
Foul was holding by the defense against an eligible receiver. Foul is 10 yards from the end of the run, followed by a first down.
So the step off against Alabama will move it up to the 48-yard line. 10 penalties between the two teams. And we're early in the third. Play action for Haldi. Hit as he unloads. Looking for A.J. Harris, and here come the flags. D'Amico Ryans got turned around a little bit trying to cover Harris. That was after Antoine Odom had planted Josh Haldi in the backfield.
Absolutely crushed poor Josh Haldi right there. Little bootleg throwback there. As we see here, Haldi on the bootleg is going to set up and try to hit. Going back the other way, unfortunately, Antoine Odom wins off of the corner and applies pressure.
And there you see the flag.
The foul is pass interference by the defense. Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot, followed by a first down.
Of course, you never want any of your defenders to commit a holding on a pass or a pass interference, but when they have absolutely no idea where the ball is, it's better to have them interfere as to allow a big play or a touchdown even.
Turner checks back into the game. First down from the Alabama 38. Turner trying to break it outside, but he can't do it. Bottled up, dropped by Freddie Roach, the sophomore out of Killen. Two tight ends for NIU, but number 8 got in the backfield in a hurry.
Freddie Roach following his stepbrother Tim Boeing's footsteps and coming to the university, and of course has a younger brother here playing for Alabama as well.
No gain on the play. Haldi tries to duck out of trouble, can't do it, unloads the pass, but that I believe will be grounding. Doyle Jackson taking a long look, trying to see where that ball went out of bounds. Was he able to get it back to the line of scrimmage, or will they say his knee was down right at the 49? Another look. Pressure again.
Not McKay Loescher making his way into the backfield just once again. His knee did come down, it looked like, or very close at least. Either way, the ball would have been spotted there because he had absolutely no idea where he was throwing the ball. Would have been called for intentional grounding.
Not sure the knee ever touched, but I also don't think he got it back to the line of scrimmage, trying to get it out of bounds, so it may have been grounding anyway. Flags down as Naughton McKay Loescher disrupted that play, but I think he got a head start.
But he also got a good lick. He made it worth the 5-yard penalty.
Third and very long. We'll be down to just third and long now after a 5-yard step off. That is.
Foul is offsides by the defense. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot, followed by replay of the third down.
That'll be 30 yards in penalties against Alabama on this drive alone. The step off against Alabama brings up a 3rd and 18 for NIU. Joe Kine's defense trying to get another stop. Under 9 minutes to go here in the third. Flags down again. Haldi on the run, fires, and it is almost intercepted. Ramsey Robinson very nearly stepped in front of that pass, but there is a marker down across the way.
Nice play there by Ramsey Robinson, stepping in front of Dan Sheldon on what looked to be the comeback. Unfortunately, in and out of the hands.
Joe Kines.
Foul is a dead ball. Movement by the offensive line prior to the snap. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot, followed by a repeat of the third down.
So a dead ball, although no one heard a whistle.
Third down, 23 yards to go from the 50.
So that'll move it back to the 50. Eesh. 5 flags already here in the third quarter. Back to 3rd and 23 and a sack. And Antoine Odom back at the 40. A loss of 10 more. It'll be 4th down and about 33.
Doug Free, the left tackle for Northern Illinois, has absolutely no chance against the speed of Antoine Odom. You see him come off the end there and apply pressure. When he gets in the backfield, he makes it worth his while.
Gallagher gets the kick away. Williams will let it roll, and it will come dead right at the 11-yard line. 49-yard punt as the Huskies really hustled the punt team out there in a hurry.
You talking about Matt Canada as an OC?
That's my guy, man. No, listen, he was great. He was great in Maryland. He knew what my strengths were. He knew when I needed him to jump out at me through the press box, through the phone, and say what needed to be said. No, he was great. And I think the whole offensive coaching staff, like I said, and Coach Novak, obviously, I thought both those games, but certainly in this one, we knew what we wanted to do, what we had to do, and it was really, really effective.
Another near full house here tonight. Sean Williams.
Getting into a drop back game and thinking you're going to hold up and get 3 or 4 seconds to throw in the pocket and what have you. It's just not a smart play from that perspective. So a ton of credit goes to the coaching staff, the guys up front on the offensive line. None of it happens if we don't have the type of game plan we had and the guys up front didn't execute the way they did.
Electing to stick mainly with just 5-10-yard hitches as opposed to throwing the ball down the field.
Coyle wants to go deep. Just overthrows Dre Fulgham. Rob Lee step for step with Fulgham down the near boundary.
One thing that's important for an offense, as we see Brody just throw that deep incomplete pass, it's still important to throw the ball deep. Yeah, it was incomplete. You wish it was completed, but it sends a message to the defense. They know that they have to play on their heels, otherwise they're going to get beat deep. What that's going to do here in the next few possessions is going to open up the underneath stuff for the Alabama offense.
3rd down and 12 for the Tide. Shotgun for Coyle. Steps up. Guns that one out of bounds. Looking for Fletcher on the far sideline, but a little miscommunication, a little pressure disrupting that play, and the Tide will have to punt backed up deep.
Unfortunate set of downs there for Alabama as they were unable to move the ball forward. In fact, over the course, backed up a little bit there. Hopefully we'll get a good punt right here. Try to reverse the tables as far as field position.
Freeland from his end zone. High, short kick. Sheldon right at midfield. Takes a shot at the 40, but great starting position for NIU.
Derek Pope having an absolutely outstanding year thus far. Nice job on the coverage there.
41-yard punt, 10-yard return, and 1 big hit.
Broke his sternum.
You guys are tough. But here are the Huskies starting in Alabama territory for the 2nd time tonight. Turner slides outside, weaving his way through traffic, keeps his feet, finally steps out of bounds right at the 20-yard line.
And I don't know if we're going to see it on the replay here or not. Poor old Antoine Odom's doing all he can to get off, and he's just absolutely getting mauled there on the defensive end, which was what allows Michael Turner to break it outside, and after that he's on his own. He's going to make something big happen.
Turner approaching 100 yards. 1st down just inside the 20. Turner hit in the backfield but keeps his feet. powers his way down to about the 12.
Nice job by Ahmad Childress there, penetrating the offensive line, getting in the backfield. Tried to wrap up on Michael Turner. Turner, again, just so strong. If you hit him high, he's going to have an opportunity to use those big, powerful legs that he has to break tackles.
Gain of 6 on first down. Under 6.5 to play here in the third quarter. Haldi on the rollout. Throws that one away. And takes a shot after he released it from Antoine Odom. And has a souvenir.
A little bit of Bryant Denny to take back to the huddle with him. Unusual route there. It looked like a little flat spot type combination. 2 routes. Normally an offense will throw in a corner route with that, but obviously I don't know their playbook.
3rd and 4. Bama fans trying to help the defense. Haldi into the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown. Chatone Powers makes the grab, and the Huskies have taken the lead. Picture perfect throw and catch from Josh Haldi to Chatone Powers.
Tough play there. I mean, it absolutely was. We had good coverage on it. Just able to sneak it in there right back by the back pylon, which is an absolutely perfect throw for a quarterback.
Just over top of Charlie Pepra. Azar for the extra point. Bangs it through. First touchdown catch of the season for Powers. 6th touchdown throw of the season for Josh Haldi. And with 6:05 to go in the third quarter, Northern Illinois has taken a 12-9 lead.
Josh Haldi's done an excellent job all year long. He's been able to take his shots in the end zone, has been successful over the course of the last 2 games. Only thrown 1 interception thus far, though.
6 touchdown passes to only 1 interception. We told you he's a very smart young man. He doesn't make mistakes. And there he made a big play for his offense and his team as NIU jumps ahead 12-9.
But something to keep in mind, it was the tough running of Michael Turner that got them to that point. He kept those legs churning, was able to break a couple of tackles, allowed Josh the opportunity to throw the ball in the back of the end zone for the touchdown.
13-yard touchdown pass to Chatone Powers. First career reception for Powers. Last year, a 7-yard touchdown pass against Ball State. Azar set to kick it away again. Robinson and Hudson back deep for the tie. Shorter kick this time. Robinson from the 3. Looking for some running room and doesn't find much. Upended shy of the 15-yard line. Good coverage by NIU. Ray Smith able to get down and make the tackle that time. So more poor field position for Alabama starting at its own 14.
Alabama really needs to take advantage of this possession and come out and do something good. The fans know it as they cheer them onto the field. It's a very important possession. The first time Alabama's been down all night.
Tide really struggling to get the running game going and haven't been able to spring Shad Williams so far. Swing pass to Shad. Tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. He may have lost a yard. As Akil Grant came flying in to make that tackle.
Akil coming up from his strong safety position. Looked like NIU came in with a little field pressure here. As you see him bring number 38, Brian Atkinson. Brody does a nice job of recognizing it, swings it out to Shad. But like you said, Akil does a great job of coming up and making the tackle.
It's an aggressive attacking defense, and Mike Sheila says a lot of the credit for that has to go to the secondary. You can't be that aggressive and not have good cover guys. Here's Williams.
trying to get something going. Powers ahead to the 17, maybe the 18-yard line. Clock ticking down to the 5-minute mark here in the third quarter. And Alabama will be faced with a 3rd and long.
As you said, Northern Illinois bases a lot of what they do just off of trying to apply as much pressure as possible. It is good if you guess right. When you're blitzing linebackers, you're stunting people. If you're right, it's going to result in a loss. But it only takes one play where you guess wrong, blitz the wrong direction, and Alabama turns it into a huge gain.
3rd and 6. Hot shot incomplete. A little bit behind Triandos Luke. And the Alabama offense sputters again here in the third quarter. And once more, NIU stands to get some pretty good field position.
Brody trying to work the middle of the field here. A little bit behind there. Once again, might have been a hair late on the delivery and not wanting to run him into anyone.
Freeland high, another wobbly kick. Sheldon from his 47. Takes it into Alabama territory at the Tide 43. He is a fearless return man. He seems to catch everything, Tyler, on the dead run already. A tough guy to bring down.
There's no question about it. And with the new halo rule this year, there is no halo infringement. It's just you have to give them a legitimate opportunity to catch the ball. He realizes that. He knows that nobody's going to tackle him. And it puts a lot of pressure on Alabama's gunners. When they're down, they're waiting on him. They don't know where the ball is. All of a sudden, it's in his hands, and he's running.
First down, Huskies. Michael Turner over the left side. Takes it down to the Alabama 40-yard line. Brody Croyle, if you remember, Tyler got off to that great start in the first half. 7 for 7 to begin the game. Since then, though, he's just 4 out of 13. And kind of as Brody has gone, this Alabama offense has sputtered a little bit later on.
He's a huge part of it. He has a lot of experience playing on this field right here with this offensive unit. He is the leader without question, and as Brody goes, the Tide offense goes.
2nd and 7. Swing pass again, and a vicious hit by Charles Jones. P.J. Fleck made that grab and paid for it.
Tell you who made that play possible right there was Charlie Pepper on the corner. He read the play. He steps up, forcing number 84 for Northern Illinois, Sam Hurd, to take him. Unfortunately for the Huskies, there was 2 Alabama defenders there. Charles Jones able to make the big hit.
3rd down. Huskies need about 7 yards to keep this drive going. Bama shows blitz. Here they come. Haldi can't get away from Freddie Roach.
The Tide defense is relentless tonight. They're playing aggressive football. Showing a field blitz right here. Get a lot of pressure. Nice job by Michael Turner there stepping over and making a block. Freddie Roach just able to scrape over, apply pressure, and pick up the sack.
4th sack of the night for this Alabama defense. Here's Anthony Gallagher trying to pin Bama deep once more. Williams asks for a fair catch, but has no intention of making that catch. And it will be downed inside the 10. They'll spot it at the 8. 36-yard punt for Gallagher. And once more, effectively making Alabama go an awful long way with 2:34 to go here in the third.
It only takes a completion or two, a positive running play or two, to get the confidence back in this Alabama offense. From there, they can get things turning, pick up a couple first downs, possibly put some points on the board, at least reverse the field position.
Good off to Williams, trying to get outside, and he is dropped for a loss on the play. You get backed up like this, it limits the playbook a good bit as well, doesn't it?
It does. It's a lot like being in the red zone. Offenses can be timid as to passing the ball, stepping back because they don't want a loss. They don't want something bad to happen, an interception, a sack close to the goal line. So you try to be conservative with what you feel comfortable with, but what you also feel will pick up positive yardage.
11 carries for Williams tonight, only 38 yards. A loss of 3 there. Coyle, the quick throw to Williams, circling out of the backfield. Shaw sprints out of bounds right around the 15-yard line.
Nice job there by Shaw coming out of the backfield. Brody hits him in the flat, picks up good positive yard. That's the confidence that this Alabama offense needs right now. A good positive play. It's going to give them a third and about 5 or 6 yards for the first down. But those are the type of plays that they need backed up here to instill that confidence back in them that they had earlier in the game.
Tide needs the 18-yard line for a first down. Quick throw again, catch made by Triando Luke. Turns and heads upfield. Finally brought down at the 37 by Javon Lady. And there's the big play you're looking for when you're bottled up.
Northern Illinois has been very successful all night with bringing pressure. What that does, however, is puts a lot of pressure on their secondary. It only takes one missed tackle, and like we just saw, it's a nice game by Triandis Luke.
Akil Grant, the man that missed that tackle, and they've been awfully sure-handed tonight defensively. But a break for the Tide. They've got it at the 38 now. Play action for Coyle. Lobs it just a little long, looking for David Cavan off his fingertips and incomplete.
David Cavan, as we talked about earlier, suffering from a injured wrist earlier in the preseason. You wonder how much this right here played a factor as you see him stick his hands up. Now that's a difficult catch for a tight end, one that he doesn't make all day long, but nonetheless I would say 9 out of 10 times David Cavan comes down with that ball.
And you may have seen the cast still on the hand. 1:06 to go in the third quarter. 2nd down, 10, Alabama. The Tide trailing 12-9. Coyle pressured, had to unload that one in a hurry. Looking for Triandos Luke, but the pressure that time from NIU got to him.
A lot of pressure there by Northern Illinois' defense. Brody did not want to take the sack right there, kind of stayed back on his heels, anticipated the break of his receiver. Unfortunately, it fell short, but a much better outcome than a sack.
Tuition well spent. 3rd and 10. Time this time for Brody. Finds Dre Fulgham. Keeps the legs turning. He's spun down as he crosses the 45 by Randy Drew.
Nice pickup. Nice job by Brody. Looking downfield. He looked and he looked and he looked and he waited as long as he possibly could, not liking what he saw. Went down low to Dre Fulgham. A lot of guys. Northern Illinois is just doing an absolutely outstanding job of swarming the football. They're getting a lot of bodies there. If one person misses, they have 2 or 3 more coming along to make the tackle. What Alabama offense has done, though, they've driven out of that from being backed up. They've just changed field position.
Tide had a 4th and a yard, had to punt. Contact made. I believe Thurman Ward got a piece of Dan Sheldon.
I don't want to be negative here, but I think that he got some help from the backside, and I hope that one of these referees on the short sideline saw that.
There is no flag. The player was blocked by his own teammate. No flag.
So they pick up the marker. Spot the ball down at the 17.5.
First down, Northern Illinois at the 18.
And now the Huskies will have to start with a long field in front of them. 13 ticks on the clock here in quarter number 3.
Alabama fans realizing how important of a series this is for the defense of the Crimson Tide. It's important for them to go out, get a 3 and out if they possibly can, and get the ball back to the offense.
Turner started up the middle, now breaks it out to the right. Has 10, maybe 11 yards as he rolls out of bounds. Roman Harper forces him out.
Earlier I said that he was more of a fire plug than a burner, but here he proves us wrong once again as he outruns the angle of Derek Pope there. He does possess good speed. He's able to utilize it right there.
20 carries, 104 yards now for Michael Turner. He moves the chains there. First down at the 29. Final play of the third quarter. Give to Harris in to spell Turner for a play. Pickup of about a yard as the third quarter comes to an end. The only scoring in the third quarter, 13-yard touchdown pass from Haldi to Chatone Powers, and it gives Northern Illinois a 12-9 lead as we head to the fourth and final quarter here in Tuscaloosa.
Can you just talk about what that first half meant to the second half for us?
Confidence, being able to move the ball down the field, just playing just gritty, tough football. That Midwestern style football. It's a low scoring game, but that was our DNA. We wasn't like a high profile, throwing it 50 times a game type of team. But so we was like, okay, in order for us to win, we got to have a chance to run the football. And so we showed that offensively that we can run the football on these guys, gave us confidence. Okay, all right, these guys they're not that good that we thought, just ease it in there, you know what I'm saying? And things just kept rolling for us and big plays kept happening. I don't know if they was doing defensively, like coaching wise for the adjustments, but things opened up in the second half for us. To able to run on the play action and fool those guys and get things open.
Hoping that history repeats itself are these Alabama fans as they anticipate the start of this fourth quarter. They're coming to their feet. They're getting into the game. The atmosphere of the night is setting in. They're cheering on their defense.
Time would love to get a turnover. Bama defense hasn't forced a turnover in the last 2 games. Third and long. They'll play it safe. Give it to Turner. Ducks his head and powers ahead to the 35-yard line where he's met by Jawan Garth, redshirt freshman out of Decatur.
Nice job there by Jawan Garth, just sitting right in there in the middle. He's been an outstanding player for the Alabama Crimson Tide this year. Played on some special teams, moving around. Tremendous athletic ability, though.
Anthony Gallagher booms this kick away, driving Williams back. He'll let it go. Bounces at the 10 and will be touchdown right at the 11-yard line. So special teams for Northern Illinois has been very, very solid all night long. Third quarter stats. Alabama offense has the advantage somewhat in yardage, but not on the scoreboard. Joe Novak's team with a 3-point lead here early in the fourth quarter. Back to Bryant-Denny Stadium in just a moment. 14-16 to play here at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Same song, third or fourth verse here in the second half, Tyler, as Alabama's going to start this drive at its own 11.
Alabama had a little bit of success on that last possession. Let's see if they can carry it over into this set of downs.
Castile in front of Darby in the eye as NIU shows blitz. Darby stumbles as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Picks up about 3. Akil Grant credited with another stop, making his 26th consecutive start for the Huskies.
Northern Illinois sticking everybody's nose up at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the Alabama front to pick them up and open up a hole for Ken Darby.
Same look on second down for Alabama. Darby again hit in the backfield and dropped. Nick Duffy came shooting through, and it results in about a 2-yard loss.
Duffy does a great job here. You see him come from the top of your screen, backside pressure, able to get to Darby in the backfield. It's going to knock him back to about the original starting position at the 11.5 to 12-yard line.
Duffy with 12 double-digit tackle games in his career. As Tyler mentioned earlier, on the Butkus watch list to start the season. 3rd and long. Coyle steps up, guns that one, complete to Fletcher. Ridden down, horse-collared by Lionel Hickenbottom, but a big gain for the Alabama offense. A first down, just shy of midfield.
Great patience here by Brody Croyle and an outstanding job by the Alabama offensive line. Had a chance. I thought he should have ran it, but he waited in there perfectly for Zach Fletcher to clear across the middle of the field. Resulted in a huge first down for Alabama as they are about to cross midfield.
37 yards on the pickup, and a tip of the hat to Ken Darby, who had a great block to give Croyle the time. Brody hands it to Darby now. As another flag flies. Alabama applauds. That'll cost the Huskies 5 yards, and it will take it into NIU territory.
Might be the first time tonight, or at least in the second half here, that Alabama has crossed midfield. Hopefully it can build on that last play. Wear down on this.
Penalty is offsides by the defense. 5 yards from the previous spot, still first down.
Still plenty of time in this football game. Alabama doesn't need to press, and I'm sure that they're not, but they do need to take advantage of the opportunities that they're being given.
Shawn Williams now, the lone setback. Takes the handoff, looking for some running room and finding very little.
Alabama continuing to try to run the ball up the middle. Had a lot of success there in the first half. They've been struggling here lately, trying to establish that run. The team that can run the ball normally can dominate the game. Alabama's trying to reestablish that running game.
Clock ticks under 12 minutes. Gain of 1 that time for Shawn Williams. Brings up a 2nd and 4. Pressure. Croyle flares that one out, just out of the reach of Tim Castile. Kirsten Strothman applying the pressure to Brody Croyle.
Nice pressure there by Kirsten Strothman coming in from the backside. Brody able to get rid of the ball. A little bit high to Tim Castile, but it'll only result in a 3rd and 5 situation.
Tide needs to convert to keep the drive going. Good protection that time. That pass incomplete. A little high. Fletcher went up to get it, but couldn't corral it. Rob Lee, a strong cornerback with good coverage that time.
Plenty of time. Nice protection by Alabama. That's just a good play. That's all there is to it. He had good coverage. Zach does a nice job of trying to push off.
Mike Shula thought there may have been a little too much contact.
He did.
Freeland to punt it again. Sheldon will let that one go. Out of bounds at the 9-yard line. 3-point lead and the football for Northern Illinois. But they'll start this drive from their own 9-yard line when we come back. Huskies leading at 12-9 over the Crimson Tide. Back to Tuscaloosa in a moment.
I was fortunate I played 4 years for Northern, right? And by the time I was a junior, you know, the game, you've seen as much as you can. And then by the time you're a senior, you're as confident as you can be because you've been around so much. So I never thought about anybody being larger than me, being faster than me. I thought I could compete with anybody out there. And I know my teammates said the same. And so while we were so special as a senior defense was because we had so many guys that played years prior.
So you come in where you have a large group of guys that have this great confidence because they've played so many years. And that really comes through when you watch these football games, right? And there's a certain level, I think, of confidence, but also a little bit of a chip on your shoulder that I think we had defensively. And I think that really carried us through, some of those bigger games maybe with opponents that you may think maybe were bigger than us or should have, outplayed us.
Once more, an offense will start with lousy field position. Fortunately, if you're an Alabama fan, NIU is the squad backed up deep. The Alabama defense, Tyler, they're thinking big play of their own right now. Turner, the single setback. Haldi deals it away to him. Turner takes a couple of licks, runs out of bounds at the 23-yard line. First down Huskies, and back down to Chris Stewart.
Guys, if you follow this Northern Illinois program the last couple of seasons, you shouldn't be shocked that they're able to lead Alabama right now in the fourth quarter. This really is one of the most amazing turnarounds in the history of college football. Joe Novak had a team that won 3 games over a 3-year period. They have posted 3 consecutive winning seasons now. They've already knocked off a ranked team. They're trying to make it 2 this season. We've only got about 4 weeks into the season.
Coach Novak in his 8th year at DeKalb as head coach. Turner taking more punishment and taking more Alabama defenders with him as he'll have another first down.
Alabama's defense starting to look a little bit tired as Michael Turner starts to wear on him. The more carries he gets, the deeper he gets into this football game, the stronger he appears to be.
Nothing fancy. We've said that several times tonight about this Northern Illinois offense, but when you can line up and run right at people, it makes things a lot easier for you. Turner again. Upended as he crosses the 40. Derek Pope credited with the tackle. Yeah, Joe Novak, 30-50 is his record as head coach at NIU, but as Chris mentioned, we touched on it earlier, a 3-year stretch, the Huskies were 3-30.
Virginia Tech struggled there for several years under Coach Beamer and have since turned it around and are now considered a national powerhouse.
Big win for them last Thursday. Harris, the ball carrier this time, moves the pile close to the first down marker. Harper drives him back.
Not trying to take away from this game that we're watching right now, but it was also a very pleasant win to watch for the Hokies.
Safe to say the Hokie fan club grew in large numbers Thursday night. Clock runs with 9.5 minutes to go. The Alabama defense needs a stop and would love to see a turnover. A.J. Harris cuts it up. Will have the first down on 3rd and short. Tackled right at midfield.
Northern Illinois' offensive line doing a great job of getting a body on a body, stretching the plays out, and allowing number 24, A.J. Harris, to find a hole and turn it up and pick up the first down.
Harris only 3 carries coming into tonight, but he has spelled Michael Turner effectively. Gets him a first down there. Hit, dropped that time is Harris in the backfield for a loss by Freddie Roach.
Freddie applying good pressure here, as well as, Derek Pope establishing pressure there up the field. Freddie Roach, nice job of scraping off and making the tackle.
Freddie, the defensive player of the week, selected by the Alabama coaches. 8 tackles a week ago in the win over Kentucky.
Second down long puts Northern Illinois in a
Turner moves it into Alabama territory. That's the first phase, I guess, for the Alabama defense. You get a stop on first down, set up what you hope is second and long and then third and long, and that's what Northern Illinois is looking at right now.
No question, but I think that at this point, Northern Illinois is not going to take any chances. They've had good success with the running game. They're going to stick with it and not take those unnecessary risks in throwing the ball.
7.5 minutes thereabouts, and a timeout taken by the Huskies. A big third down play upcoming. 7:37 to go in the game. NIU continues to lead Alabama 12-9.
I felt that, we like just keep pounding the rock. I was looking for a big run. I wanted my big run moment against Alabama. I didn't get it, but I was looking. I was like, oh, eventually it's going to happen. I had all the confidence in the world, man. That night, I just felt that everything was running so smooth for us, and things were just clicking for us. I just felt in the air that we was going to pull out this win.
3-point lead for the Huskies. And just some of the numbers posted by Michael Turner. Closing in on the school record. He needed 229 yards for the school rushing record coming into tonight. He has been as good as advertised.
He has definitely put on a show here tonight, and he's definitely earned the respect of this Alabama defense.
Third and a long 8. Haldi rolls, throws deep, and it is caught by Sheldon, and he will score. The 5'11", 175-pound junior collects his third touchdown grab of the season, and in doing so has stunned this Alabama crowd. 3rd and 9, and Coach Novak rolls the dice.
Takes a huge risk right there, rolling out Josh Haldi. He's able to roll to his left and throw a nice pass to number 5, Dan Sheldon. Concentration just absolutely outstanding as he hauls it in and takes it in the end zone.
48-yard touchdown pass. Haldi to Sheldon. Ramsey Robinson got a little turned around, and Sheldon takes it to the end zone. 7th touchdown pass of the season for the junior quarterback, as they are trying to go 3-0 and pull off another big upset. 8 plays, 91 yards. Some big third down conversions on that drive. None bigger, of course, than the 48-yard strike to Sheldon.
If I remember correctly, I'm not sure, and I could be wrong here, but I'm not sure that was the play call before the timeout. And it was one of those things that we certainly talked about, taking the shot. PJ was in the slot. He ran, I think, a flat route, and Dan just ran a straight go. The safety didn't get back over top to help. And all kidding aside, yeah, it was rolling to your left, thrown across your body. Certainly there's a little bit of luck involved in him being able to make a play on the ball, the defender getting turned around. Like I said, I think if I throw it where it probably needs to go, it's not complete. But, yeah, obviously it was a great play for us. It put us in a position where we felt pretty good. And then, again, the defense just carried us kind of the rest of the way and had that big stop on their last drive. And it was just a great team effort, obviously.
Still a lot of time to play in this game, but as much as the Alabama offense has struggled, that one may be a backbreaker.
Well, let's hope not. There's a lot to this Alabama football team. They've never quit. Last few years, they've been through a tremendous amount of turmoil here down in Tuscaloosa. One thing that has remained constant, they've played hard on the field each and every weekend.
Sean Williams, 5 yards deep, will take a knee. Talked about it a lot at the South Florida game in the season opener. Came out, sputtered a little bit, fell behind, but
A 10-point deficit after all these guys, and you included, all that you and these other Alabama players went through, a 10-point deficit, nothing.
That's right. I think if we remember back to the opening week versus South Florida, over the span of about a minute and a half, Alabama was able to score 10 points and take it into the locker room for a 10-10 tie.
But this offense has really struggled. They've been shut out here in the second half. Won 16 out of their last 20, but they're down 10. Coyle dumps it off to Castillo to the 25-yard line.
And positive plays are all that it's going to take to move this football team forward. Brody Coyle, nice job of looking downfield, trying to get something bigger, realizing that it wasn't open, checks it down to the flat. Tim Castile picks up a nice gain of 5 yards.
Coyle, another swing pass to Sean Williams, tripped up for no gain. Boy, the speed of this Northern Illinois defense will also catch your attention in a hurry.
Akil Grant coming down from his strong safety position. It has just been absolutely amazing how those shoestring tackles have gone in the Huskies' favor all night. They're doing an absolutely outstanding job of open field tackle, not allowing Alabama's short game to catch the ball and run.
3rd and 5. Pass caught. First down as Brandon Greer makes his first catch of the night. Coyle and Greer hooked up frequently in high school, quarterback and receiver, both at Westbrook Christian. Brandon, a high school record 30 touchdown catches as a senior.
Broke Ozzie Newsom's record that had stood since 1973.
First down at the 6-minute mark. Brody rifles that pass, a little too tall for Dre Fulgham. I mentioned 1973, 30th anniversary of that national championship team, and that squad was honored prior to tonight's game. Bobby Humphrey, teammate of Mike Shula, the legend here this weekend that brought the game ball out.
2nd and 10.
Second down for the Tide. Coyle surveys the field, finds Clint Johnston on the far side for a short pickup. He'll step out of bounds. That stops the clock with 5:53 to play.
Brody trying to work down the middle of the field to the field, realizing that it's not there, dumps the ball off to Clint Johnson. Set up a 3rd down and about 6.
Third and 6 for the Tide. You get the feeling Alabama is the one that's had the 3rd and long yardage for the most part of the second half. Deep drop for Croyle. Pump fake. Now he's going to try and run it. Eludes one man, but steps out of bounds, I think about a yard or two shy of the first down marker. Nick Duffy chased him out of bounds, and just nobody open.
Northern Illinois is doing a nice job. They're trying to make it look like they're blitzing, and Alabama really can't tell the difference. They're doing such a good job. Of course, that time they back out, they flood the zones, the curls, the flats. They're taking away everything deep and forcing Alabama to stay underneath them.
The Tide 4 for 4 on 4th downs this year. They need a yard here. Williams gets the handoff, has the first down and more. He will take it the distance. Touchdown. yards for Sean Williams. And lightning strikes with 5:36 to go.
We really felt confident, although we were starting to wonder. We kept hoping that that big play would come. Sean Williams delivers it for this Alabama offense. Hopefully now they can build on this.
Extra point, important, as we have already seen tonight. Bostic
to try and make it a 3-point game. And he does. Another look at the touchdown run for Williams. Once he broke through the line, it was clear sailing.
Northern Illinois is putting everybody on the line of scrimmage again. As you see Shaw run through 2 Husky would-be tacklers. From that point on, it's a foot race, and 9 out of 10 times he's going to win them.
6th touchdown of the season for Shaw Williams. He is the only running back who has scored a rushing touchdown this year for the Tide, and he brings Alabama to within 3, 19-16, and here's Chris Stewart.
Hey guys, the last time we saw Shaw Williams run through a hole like that, it was almost exactly 12 months ago, Fayetteville, Arkansas, when he was able to go on the first play from scrimmage, right up the gut, set the tempo in that game as the Tide knocked off the Razorbacks. That play may be the one that turns this one around. Crowd's back in it, Bama's back in it as well.
7 plays, 80 yards. Perhaps the key factor is a minute 52. Didn't take a lot of time, and still plenty of time now for Alabama. 5:36 to go. Crimson Tide with all 3 timeouts, and this crowd very much into the game.
Alabama needs to continue to carry the fight to Northern Illinois on this kickoff. They need to try to pin them back as deep as possible. It's important that the kickoff team get down the field as quick as possible.
Kyle Robinson to boot it away. Randy Drew and Lionel Hickenbottom to deep men. It'll be Hickenbottom from the 7. Spins across the 30, taken down at the 33, maybe the 34-yard line by Terrence Jones. So now it falls to the Alabama defense to get the ball back.
You got to love it, though, for the Alabama defense. They have to have a little extra spring in their step as they take the field right now. The fans have gotten back in this game. The electricity is flowing. The defense needs to step up and make a big stop right now.
Turner trying to weave his way through traffic. Gets a yard and no more. Freddie Roach meets him and drives him back.
Freddie Roach, as well as Derek Pope there, realizing the way to tackle this guy is when you make contact, continue to drive your legs as well. That's what he's doing. He's been successful at breaking through tackles. Realize the importance of this set of downs. Alabama defense holds Turner to just 2 yards on first down.
Huskies will use every second of the play clock. Play action for Haldi on a deep ball. Overthrown. Looking for Sheldon, but good coverage that time by the Crimson Tide. Charlie Pepper, Charles Jones. Shadowing Dan Sheldon down the field, and that'll set up a 3rd and long. Perhaps a nice surprising call. Trying to work on the clock, but taking one shot deep anyway.
Well, they had successful on the last possession. They figured maybe Alabama was thinking nothing but run. They might have an opportunity for a big home run. Nice job by Naughton McKay-Locher on that last play, applying pressure.
3rd and 8. The draw to Turner. Flags are down. Turner is down, shy of the 40. That is not enough for the first down. Check the marker. Bama fans hoping it goes against the Huskies, and it will.
You can just about bet on it when an umpire throws a flag. It's going to be offensive holding. Alabama will decline this penalty, and Shaw Williams will step back to receive the punt.
Holding, but the offense, that foul is declined before down.
So the defense gets the job done. And Alabama is going to have to spend the timeout. With 4:35 to play in the game, the Tide was a little slow in getting the punt team out on the field. So Mike Shula and company call their first timeout 83,000 plus. Maybe a couple of hundred Husky fans made the trip down, but certainly the majority of this crowd pulling for the Crimson Tide and have had very little to cheer about most of the night. Bama down by 3, but will get the ball back. 4.5 to go. Shard Williams around the 20. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. You can almost feel that the momentum has changed in this game as Shard Williams awaits the punt.
Another beautiful kick by Gallagher that Williams lets go. And thankfully for the Tide, it will reach the end zone. Another beautiful kick by Anthony Gallagher, but couldn't keep it out of the end zone. 60 yards on that punt. And Alabama will start from the 20.
Anthony Gallagher has done a great job all night long. Every time you think Alabama's going to get good field position and Shard Williams is going to have an opportunity to return a punt, Gallagher goes out and he kicks the ball 60 yards and backs Alabama back up inside the 20 to the 20-yard line once again.
Croyle to throw on first down, but he is sacked. Back at the 14-yard line.
Not the way you want to start an offensive possession, especially when you're down 3 points.
Quince Holman got the penetration that time. Clock ticking under 4 minutes. 2nd and 16 following the sack. Croyle rifles that pass, incomplete, and no flags. Randy Drew was in the back pocket of Triandos Luke. But good coverage by the Husky cornerback.
Drew, of course, one of Northern Illinois' best secondary players. Triandos Luke wanted the flag, so did the fans. We didn't get it though.
Drew with 9 interceptions in his last 12 ball games with neither team has turned it over here tonight. Bama needs 16 yards for the first down. Croyle goes underneath to Williams. He makes one man miss, slips another tackle, and will move it ahead to the 28-yard line, leaving him about 2 shy of the first down. Jason Frank with the tackle, and Alabama looks at another 4th down.
Alabama pushing 4 vertical that time. Northern Illinois does a nice job of getting back. Brody does a great job of hitting his check down, who's always going to be open. Shard Williams is able to wiggle it down in there and give Alabama an opportunity on 4th down.
Play clock at 10, and Alabama will spend a timeout. 2 minutes and 59 seconds to play in the ball game. Alabama spending its 2nd timeout. Bama offense breaks the huddle. Croyle will work from the shotgun with Shard Williams to his right. 4th and 2. Quick throw, catch made, first down. Triandos Luke cradled that football. Took the hit from Nick Duffy, but he hangs on, and Alabama moves the chains.
Brody Croyle knows all the time. He knows what the defense is going to do. He knows who's going to be open. 5-yard hitch there by Triandos Luke, and wide open, moves the chains, first down, Alabama.
Able to hang on to it just long enough for the first down. Croyle to the far side, incomplete. Wide of the mark to Brandon Greer. Another look at that catch. Has it? Or did he?
Well, he did, because we just ran a play.
You are correct.
You can argue about it till you're blue in the face. A 2nd down.
2:35 to go. Joe Novak pacing the NIU sideline. And somehow the ball got moved from the hash mark About 2 yards to the left and backwards. So they'll re-spot it, start the play clock again. Trying to set up the screen to Greer. Brandon Greer takes it to the 40-yard line where it'll be 3rd and a long 2 for Alabama. Closing in on 2 minutes to go.
Good job by Brandon Greer. Nice block there by Triandis Luke. Little slip screen, follows his blockers up in there nice for about a 7.5-yard gain.
Tide going with the hurry up. Croyle lost the football. Able to get it back, but he takes a loss back to the 32-yard line. Simply slipped out of his hands.
Looked like his arm was going forward. I'm curious as to whether or not the head referee contemplating whether or not to call that an incomplete pass.
Alabama will spend its final timeout. Alabama fortunate to get that ball back. Brody able to fall on it, but it now sets up a 4th and 11. 2 for 2 is Alabama converting tonight. Pressure comes, Croyle unloads, it is incomplete. Looking for Triandis Luke, but the pressure got there and forced him to unload early.
Northern Illinois gambling everything right here on 4th down. They bring pressure from this side. It's number 27 for the Huskies. That's Rob Lee. He's able to cross the line of scrimmage without anyone to block him. He's got a free shot on Brody Croyle. Brody Croyle realizing that he doesn't have enough blockers to protect him, having to anticipate the break of Triandis Luke on the bended post of there, and just comes up a little bit short, unfortunately, for Alabama. Northern Illinois regains control of the football and will sit on this.
Haldi takes a knee, and what a night for that young man. Michael Turner, 27 carries, 156 yards. Alabama just could never really slow him down.
It is amazing. You could absolutely hear a pin drop here right now.
83,000 can get loud in a hurry and be quieted in a hurry as well. And give all the credit to Northern Illinois. They came in about a 2-touchdown underdog. A win over an ACC team to start the season. And in 45 seconds, a win over an SEC team. They will let the play clock tick down to the very last second and spend a timeout.
What about the Husky fan support down there? I heard there was a good contingent.
It was unreal. You know, and it's crazy because I say 96,000, but all I saw was Huskies. And all you heard was Huskies. And as that silence peaked away, you just heard the roar of the Huskies. And it was just unbelievable. Although it was a road game and we played at Bama in this great atmosphere, which is obviously a great atmosphere, what better feeling as a player to be able to spot, see, and hear Husky fans all the way in Bama.
Next Saturday afternoon.
Arkansas always does a good job of playing Alabama tough. They have always been a formidable opponent. They always bring their best, as does every team that comes to play Alabama. They play their absolute best game against the Tide. Alabama will have to regroup this week. You hope that you can lean on the leadership and the experiences of this football team to pull this thing together and make sure that they're not experiencing the same feeling next week that they are right now.
13-game schedule again this year for the Tide, culminating with the trip to Hawaii. Thanksgiving weekend. Haldi trying to kill a little more time before he will take a knee. And the Huskies will not have to snap it again. Northern Illinois comes to Tuscaloosa, a heavy underdog, but will leave with a 19-16 win over Alabama, the first win over a Southeastern Conference team. For the Huskies, Joe Novak's squad improves to 3-0 on the season. Mike Shula sees his team fall to 2-2. Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator for the Tide. His group had his hands full tonight with Michael Turner and company, and Bama comes up just a little bit short. We'll wrap it up when we come back.
When you look back on the game, what do you remember the most?
The crowd. I mean, it was a great crowd. I mean, we loved it. I mean, even if they were cheering for them, I mean, it was just that as a kid, you know, you grew up or whatever, seeing the Alabamas and, you know, the big schools and things like that, and you imagine yourself playing in that type of environment, and we had the opportunity to play there. And it was more so the stadium, the crowd, you know, the fans, you know, and it was just a great experience all overall.
When you're 20, 21 years old and you're living in that moment, and like I said, we kind of all thought we'd go in and play and win. Like, we didn't really think anything of it. And I remember in the locker room, Coach Novak kind of saying, you guys are going to remember this for the rest of your life. And I think he appreciated, you know, not to overemphasize, but how big of a deal it was for us just on a personal level as a football team. You know, it's just a lot of pride. It's just a lot of just satisfaction and what we accomplished as the team, the group of guys we had on the field, and going into a place like that and being able to play the way we did and come out as victors. It's something that Coach Novak's absolutely right. Nobody can ever take that away from us. I'll certainly never forget it. I got the scoreboard with the score mounted in my office on the wall, that if folks make their way, you know, far enough in the office, it's a good discussion piece. So it's one of a handful of one of a ton of memories in the 2003 season, but certainly it's closer at the top from a just what it meant to all of us collectively. Doing it as a team, doing it the way we did, it was just a lot of fun.
Alabama gave me confidence personally that, yeah, I can really play at the next level. I had a good game against like Maryland, Wisconsin, but they didn't have the hype that Alabama had. You know, it was like a different feeling. And being on the road, going down there and pulling that off, really kickstarted my, like, this guy can really play at the next level. Even people said it before, but for me personally, I was like, yeah, y'all saying that because I'm playing against Central Michigan, and I wanted to see what I can do, test myself against other guys, against other competition.
There was more than our success than just beating Alabama, right? So, sometimes when I'm out now golfing, whatever, somebody may say, "Hey, Nick beat Alabama," right? And that's incredible to talk about because I think it's incredible for the program and it's awesome for my teammates and myself. But what people are missing is there's something so much larger there, right? And if we hadn't run into injuries, we were doing something so special. And I think something so special to help turn that program around and hopefully to kind of kickstart something that's become absolutely incredible.
It is special because the bond that you grow with your players in relation to now sitting in a seat and being able to make sure they understand the importance of anything is possible. And that don't worry about your opponent. Your opponent is faceless. And that's something Coach Hammock brings to the table. That's something that I'm able to reiterate and then we have proof. I'm proud to say that, hey, we beat Bama at Bama. We beat Maryland at home. And all these boneyard victories before me, after me, that will continue to go on. But we have living evidence. We have facts that no matter who you play, if you stay the course, trust the process, play for each other, and bring that Husky strength, the power of the pack, that you can be victorious. And that's the message we send moving forward. And I love it because I'm, being blessed to be a part of it, and I'll give back in that sense.